Hello, Lobo fans. Welcome on set of your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with the head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzales. Coach G, we had an eclipse. It was Balloon Fiesta weekend. The Lobos had a big home game. San José State came to town. Two teams both really desperate for a win. It was a great first half, but San José State kind of took over in the second half.
Worst half of football I've ever been a part of on both sides of the ball. I mean, it was no good. I was hoping that after the game they made some magical adjustment and they were running different plays or something, which I knew during the game wasn't the case, and got upstairs and watched it. And we didn't play obviously as well in the second half. They were more physical than us. We were making assignment mistakes. We were making concentration errors, jumping off sides, all those things. And that's just bad football.
Was their success in the run game the thing that was most disappointing?
It was because of they were running the same plays they ran in the first half that we stoned for the most part. We weren't getting across blocks, and I mean our scheme is designed to make things run sideways. If the guy's getting downhill 7 yards before he gets touched, we're not going to play very good defense.
Lobos had a 17-14 advantage at halftime. You guys faced some first half adversity, and your team bounced back to take a lead into the break.
I mean the block punt was unfortunate because we had two guys making assignment mistakes. Aaron rolled out right into the guy that was rushing off the edge, and he blocked it. But offense came out on a 13-play drive, 75 yards, and scored a touchdown, took the lead back. So I thought we overcame that. We played some complimentary football after a big mistake. We just didn't continue it.
The Lobo offense has shown great balance all season. We saw that throughout the first half. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt did his thing, and Dylan Hopkins was spreading the ball around like even better than he has all year.
Yeah, first half was really, really good. Second half, we started with 6 3-and-outs. I mean, you're not going to win any games if you do that. And then we didn't get our first down until we had a 4-play drive and punted. And then obviously when Devin came in, we moved the ball when the game was already decided. But both sides of the ball played terrible in the second half. And we've got to coach them better. We got to play better for us to have a chance. And the next 6 are going to be the exact same way. I mean, San Jose State's a good football team. Wise like everybody else in our league.
We've talked about the Lobos and the defense and struggling with the big play. Some of the big plays, particularly in the second half, this particular week were different. 2 of them came on screen passes.
They were. The first one, I thought there was a clip on one of the plays, but they don't call it. I mean, there's plenty of penalties not in the during the game they don't call. It changed. We had a couple guys break down, as we'll see on the highlights. I mean, you can't break down. You just have to go with reckless abandon and run through somebody. If you miss, make him cut back into pursuit. We didn't do that good enough on either one of the screens. We missed 2 tackles on the second screen. I mean, give them some credit. They were more physical than us, but it's not who we are.
One thing, too, on special teams, they made a couple of big plays. They blocked a punt for a touchdown, and they had a big punt return.
They did. They had a big punt return, and then they had a kickoff. That we dropped and started on the 6-yard line and then threw an interception. So they took the advantage on special teams. I mean, their kickoff team, I think, is very intriguing. They make you do some things that you don't necessarily want to so that you protect the football. Now, there's some high risk to what they do, but it worked for them on Saturday and has for the majority of the season, so there's some investigating to do there. And then Aaron's got to punt the ball higher, not farther. I mean, you can't punt the ball 65 yards if the guys aren't going to get down there. And they did a pretty good job because of the punt block early. We had to stay in protection a little bit longer, and it affected us in coverage.
One thing we saw when the Lobos were receiving kickoffs is you were regularly calling for a fair catch. What was the thinking behind that?
They put a kickoff unit together that they onside, they squib, they kick it, pop it short. They've recovered 6. They've taken 6 possessions on kickoff this year. So we put a hands team out there, essentially. We put our best receivers and guys that we knew could catch the ball. Unfortunately, we dropped one. And when you call fair catch on kickoff return, if you drop it, it's dead right there.
The pick that came after that particular drop of the fair catch, it looked like it was open.
It was. The route was run a little bit, was a 7-step instead of 5, so an assignment mistake there. And then Dylan put it in the window, and their corner made a great play. I mean, it was unfortunate. We should go out there and get a stop and change the momentum, but we didn't.
All right, a really competitive first half. We'll break down the highlights next. We're back on your Lobo Coaches Show with the head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzales. The Lobos hosted San Jose State at University Stadium. Let's break down first half highlights with the coach.
I thought we played some really complimentary football in the first half. We got off to a really good drive on the first drive. Now, unfortunately, we're going to go down there. We've got to eliminate the dead ball penalties. They're killing us. We get down to the 26-yard line, and then we go backwards. I mean, Dylan was throwing the ball nicely. Bill ran it real sharp for those first 2 runs. Here we've got an opportunity right here to put the ball in the end zone or have a field goal attempt. Now, we were right here on 3rd and 2. If we don't jump, we're going for it on 4th down if we don't get it. But we made a mistake, and we jumped off sides. We do it again, and now we're sitting in a situation where 4th and 12, we're gonna punt the ball.
So succession of penalties there, a couple of false starts, delay of game, and now you're forced to punt after the drive got off to a great start.
It did. Now you end up, it wasn't even 4th and 12, 4th and 17, you got to punt. Came out, Dante missed a tackle right here, but our pursuit was able to get it on the ground. Not a big deal. We're going to get a 3 and out after that play right here. We got some pretty good pressure. They couldn't run the ball. I mean, we're winning the line of scrimmage right there, which is how the game should have continued. They had a 3rd down right here. Tyler did a nice job at the very end, getting a little bit of pressure. Now, they caved our short side of the field. We were trying to force them into the boundary. He moved around a little bit uncomfortable. We stayed well in coverage and got off the field.
So you get him off the field and you get right back on offense here, and you just pick up right where you started with that first drive.
Offense did a nice job on this in the first half of moving the ball. Like I said, the dead ball penalties kill us. There's a nice corner right there to RD into their territory, now down to the 30-yard line. We got an opportunity to put the ball in the end zone.
You can see the connection between those two former UAB teammates, Hopkins and Davis. That's 2 weeks in a row now they've been hooking up.
No, now that RD's healthy, he presents the package for Dylan to do some things. I was a little bit disappointed Dylan slid right here. He's smart. I mean, at this point in the game, we knew it was going to be a very physical game. Dylan probably made the right decision, but I want him to be really, really aggressive.
We've seen him be physical on occasion, too.
Oh, he can. Right here, they did a nice job with the RPO. They held the Lobo down low. He's supposed to be the seam runner to 3. Noah did a nice job coming off, but that's a 40-yard gain. They moved the ball down here, and they called a blindside block right there. To be honest with you, I don't agree with that block. I thought they did a nice job. The receiver high screened it. Right here, you'll see it. That's he's not trying to kill him, and that's supposed to be the intent of the rule, but they called it, and it is what it is, and it actually helped us because we were able to hold them to a field goal on this drive.
Yeah,
a field goal miss, excuse me.
You hold them to a field goal attempt, and that's a win. Once the opponent gets down in the red zone, that's a huge win for the defense.
Absolutely. I mean, they got down to the 7-yard line. We stiffened up a little bit right here. We did a nice job right there. Now that particular play right there, we ran that 3 times in the second half. They blocked it the same. We made a mistake in the way we reacted, and they go for big plays. Great play right there by Christian Ellis with the wheel route.
You've talked about that all season long. He defended it perfectly. If you can't get turned around, go up through the hands.
That's exactly right. I mean, he had the same opportunity against Texas A&M. Now the Texas A&M guy pushed off a little bit, but Christian obviously has gotten better as a season. I think he was our leading tackler on Saturday.
So the missed field goal, Lobos get the football back.
Really, we did. We got the football back, and now a three-play punt, and we get the punt block. A sign mistake on both sides. We had a guy in the shield and a guy on the front line that's supposed to block down right there. So that guy shouldn't even be there. He comes unblocked, and unfortunately, when you make assignment mistakes like that, they cost you dearly, and it became a touchdown for the Spartans, and it gave them a 7-3 lead. But I thought our offense did a great job responding. They come out, take the ball 75 yards in 13 plays, and we get a touchdown out of this drive.
I just think that the way he runs, it's so violent. He's so physical, and of course, he has the jump cuts. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is unbelievable.
He is. Now we got a holding penalty right there. Penalties when the ball are moving are different. They're going to happen because they could call them on any play. We were able to get a 3rd and 13 or 3rd and 15 right there executed. We were able right here to Trace Bruckler get a 3rd and 11. I mean, we got 3 3rd and longs on this drive, which typically that doesn't happen. 3rd and 10 plus is almost an impossible drive to score on. Nice job on the 3rd and 1 right here as we continue to get the ball down towards the end zone on this drive.
Yeah, you converted the one with Medford, you convert with Bruckler, you got the tight ends more involved in this game probably than any game prior.
No, absolutely. I mean, we were able to do some things that we saw on tape that gave us an advantage, and then there's another nice run right there by Ja'Cory.
So another touchdown for Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. He would end up with 2 in this game, and he's one of the top players in rushing touchdowns in the entire country.
He's number 6. I mean, that's pretty good for where we've been around here. I mean, Bill's a special player, so we're excited we have him. Chevron Cordero got out of the pocket right there a little bit on us. I told you he didn't really want to run. He made a play with his hands, with his arm right there. That one right there, Tyler Keeney did a nice job. He got his hand up. I think Marvin Covington's going to intercept that ball and possibly go score. It's one of those things where we're excited Tyler happened, but we were hoping it wouldn't. And then they got him into a 3rd and 6. We made a gamble that didn't pay off. We should have pinched right here in the B gap and made the tackle in the backfield. Instead, they pop it outside and score a touchdown.
Once again, though, you guys bounce right back. This is a crucial possession here at the end of the first half.
Another great drive. 10 plays this time by the offense. Moved the ball right down the field. There's another throw to the tight end. Trace was a big part of the game plan. Dylan did a nice job in this quarterback power. We get the first down right here. We're going to get down to the end zone. We got another nifty little play right there for Jacory. Nice throw right there by Dylan, and a nice move by Cade Zimmerman, who got involved with Andrew Erickson being out.
And loved seeing Wyatt McClure get his first catch as a Lobo as well.
He did. It was nice on the drag route, getting across and getting open, and then not making a mistake once he got the ball in his hands.
So this is a really interesting sequence down here on the goal line. It looked for a moment like Dylan's going to tuck it away and get in, trying to get to the line to gain there. You guys end up in a scenario where you run a little bit of a trick play to score a touchdown.
I mean, it was really good. You try and get any advantage you can on offense. We saw that when people check plays, occasionally their D-line would go down to a knee and look to their sideline. So it looked like Dylan was turning the sideline to get a new play from Coach V. He snapped the ball. I mean, he still called the snap count right there. They direct snapped it to Jacory. They weren't quite ready, and he walked in the end zone.
The feeling had to be terrific to see your offense execute the way that it did on the final drive, basically take all the last 4 minutes of the clock and give your team a halftime lead.
Well, I thought we did a great job on both sides of the ball in the first half. I mean, we limited the big plays. They had the pass on the second drive. We were able to get off the field with a missed field goal. We stopped the run. I mean, I thought defensively and offensively we complemented each other. We didn't play good enough on special teams, which kept them in the game. It could have been 17-7 or possibly 17-3 if we don't give up that touchdown on the 3rd and 6. But we had the lead, 17-14. It had gone back and forth with complementary football, and that was the idea. We made a couple adjustments at halftime. We'll see how they work out in the second half, which they didn't.
What did you talk with the team about at halftime?
Well, both us and San Jose State had been struggling in the second half at this point. Which team was going to come out and set their dominance on that? They obviously came out and made more plays than we did, which was really unfortunate.
All right, we'll review second half highlights with head coach Danny Gonzales after this time. Welcome back on your Lobo Coaches Show with head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzales. It's time to get into second half highlights. The Lobos hosting San Jose State.
They got the ball first start the second half. I mean, Noah right there with a pass interference penalty. He panicked a little bit when the ball got in the air. He made a couple plays, really nice plays on Saturday, but that one kind of hurt us. And then right here, I thought that was a clip right there in the back on Gabe Lopez. And then we had a guy coming across that broke down his feet, didn't make him cut back into pursuit, and was able to go 55 yards for the touchdown.
Was the screen game a big part of their offense in terms of what they'd done on tape?
They've ran it well, but nothing that should have been led to the two big plays that they had. They go down, they score, offense goes out and goes 3 and out, and then we come back, we get a pass interference penalty right here, but we're actually going to get off the field in 4 plays. We're going to force a punt, and then offense once again, we didn't respond like we did in the first half. This was a great play by Marvin Covington. They tried to go back-to-back throws at Marvin on this series. He made 2 tremendous plays right here, and we get off the field. They punt, and we get the ball on offense.
Good things happen when you're a corner and you're in phase like he is on these passes.
Marvin's getting better and better every week, so it was really good to see him play. I mean, he practiced well. To see him do that was really good. They were able to get us in protection right there, so they forced us to punt the ball. And then we got to go back out on on defense, and just get off the field. Keep the game a 1-score game. We got them to 3rd and 1, and they threw one over the top. They made a double move right there on our corner, and they were able to get by him for the touchdown. Nick
Nash, their former dual-threat quarterback, is now their number 1 receiver, and he was able to get behind the defense.
Good player, good throw. I have confidence those guys can cover out there on the edge, and we're going to put them in some one-on-one islands sometimes. They just got to make plays in key opportunity moments.
What about what they did defensively, if they did do anything differently to keep you from being able to move the ball here in the second half?
I wish they did. It was more of a lack of us jumping off sides and creating us getting behind the sticks. A couple times they got us on pass protection, same things, stunts they ran in the first half, but we weren't able to consistently move the chains. And then right here, as you're seeing, there's one of the ones that I talked about earlier on that defensive play where we got him on a 3rd and 1 and we were able to get him in the backfield. Here, we don't touch him until he's 7 yards downfield because we don't cross face on a block, and they end up getting a field goal right here. 31-17, not a big deal. It's a 2-score game in college football. Unfortunately, you saw the fair catch drop right there, and then we throw a one-play interception, give them the ball on the 22-yard line. Defense's job is to go out there and hold them to a field goal attempt at least, and we didn't do our job.
You're saying that route was run just a little deeper than it's supposed to be?
A little deeper
run?
than he's supposed to, and Dylan threw it in the window, and now their corner made a great play. He sunk underneath it in the hole and jumped up and intercepted it. And then right here, once again, we're lined up too wide by our 5 technique, so when we pinch inside, he doesn't get the correct guy, and they're allowed 2 guys to pull up on the Lobo, so they gain a blocker because we don't do a stunt right.
Do you feel like some of these assignment type or detail-oriented things are easily fixable?
They're fixable if they'll concentrate and do it. The most frustrating part is they did them correct in the first half. We didn't do them correct in the second half, and it led to plays like this.
Another big one there in the screen game sets up this touchdown.
It did. We didn't pinch right here. They knocked us off the ball. I mean, I heard all the words that people want to use. They were more physical in the second half, which is really disappointing because we pride ourselves on how physical of a football team we're going to be. Now the score's obviously what it is right here. We went 4 plays and out right there. They get another long run right here on the ball bounced outside. We missed the tackle. A guy squeezes inside too far. Now they called holding on their wide receiver right there, so it knocked the ball back. But they're going to pop one here in a second. That's a 60-yard drive where we missed a couple 60-yard run. We had 5 plays in the game of over 50 yards, which is, this is bad defense.
Did you feel there were, again, too many missed tackles, or was the tackling a little bit better?
Well, the tackling was a little bit better. The biggest problem was they were downhill 7 yards before we were making contact with them. And when you give a guy full steam ahead, he's got a huge advantage. Defensively, I was under the impression during the game, I'm like, man, they're just running right through us. Our kids were fighting, we were making assignment mistakes. They didn't give up, they just got out-executed, and then give San Jose State credit. They made more plays than we did in the second half to win the ball game, and they won it convincingly.
What about this final drive? Obviously, Devin Dampier, your freshman quarterback, comes in and engineers a scoring drive.
The drive before that on defense, it took them 11 plays to go down and score. And then 9 plays to go down and score. And then this drive right here, he did a nice job in a 2-minute situation, even with the penalty right here. And that's one of those penalties that's going to happen. They could call holding, face mask, those things. They're not intentional. You're going to have to deal with some of those. It's the 8 or 9 false starts, offsides that we've got to get rid of. And then Devin did a nice job throwing the football, did a nice job moving around with his feet, getting what he could, kept the drive alive, and we were able to put the ball in the end zone.
DJ Washington, your 6'5" edge receiver, had a big catch in the first half, 2 catches on this drive.
It was a great concentration catch right there because the ball, it was a back shoulder throw. It was a little bit low, corner tipped it, but DJ did a nice job of concentrating and getting it in his hands.
Kept his eyes on the football. It pops up in the air. He's right there and hauls it in. So the Lobos fall 52-24. Go ahead, Coach.
We did. We got out executed in the second half. I thought our kids were fighting significantly better than I thought during the game. I went upstairs and watched it right after and was really disappointed with the amount of assignment mistakes. And like I said, it was assignment mistakes that we did not make in the first half. So obviously we've got to find a way to get them to concentrate better in the second half to give us a chance, because we've got a competitive football team if we do things right. We're not talented enough not to do things right and get away with it like some teams.
So upon reviewing the tape, not effort, just execution.
Oh, absolutely. We made way too many assignment mistakes, and then you can say penalties are a lack of discipline. What it is, it's a lack of focus, a lack of concentration. When as an offensive lineman, you know the snap count. There's no reason to be jumping when you know the snap count. Now, we got, of those 9, I thought one of them was a really critical call in the first half. They jumped in the zone, we didn't move, and they called it on us. We take those chances and we do those things. Sometimes they're going to backfire. That one did, but the other 8, that's bad football, and we've got to eliminate it by focusing better.
Okay, we come back on the other side. We wrap up San Jose State. Look ahead to homecoming in Hawaii at University State. We're back to wrap up this edition of your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with the head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzales. Coach G, you talked about a focus that's required to execute. Good in the first half, not as good in the second half. What does a week of practice look like trying to shore that up, getting ready for Hawaii?
We're going to do some different things in the second half of practice to see if we can, some sudden change, some of those things, see if we can overcome them. We'll continue to throw penalty flags at them during practice if they make mistakes, and slight punishments for those things to try and reinforce that you just can't have that, not if you want to be a winning football team.
So New Mexico now has homecoming at University Stadium, a stretch of 3 out of 4 at home. This is a big one against Hawaii.
It is. They're coming into town on Wednesday. We got to prepare right to give ourselves the best chance to win. They like to throw it all around the park, and they're pretty good up front on defense, so we got a challenge ahead.
So San Jose State came in with a spread offense. They ended up running it a ton. This Hawai'i team is a team that will pass it more?
They're only averaging 56 yards a game rushing. They don't want to rush it. I mean, Timmy Chang's a run and shoot guy. They're going to try and throw it all over the park, and they've been successful at it this season.
You want to maintain the balance in your offense, but most importantly, you want to see success both before and after intermission.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the third and fourth quarter has been vital to us the last 2 weeks. Wyoming and San Jose, we haven't played well enough. We fought our way back against Wyoming. We didn't against San Jose State. Our kids are still, I mean, they have all the hope, all the belief in the world. They showed up yesterday with the right attitude. So we got to prepare right Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to give ourselves a chance Saturday.
Midpoint of the year, how's your team health-wise?
Banged up, but we're fine. We haven't lost anybody other than Dorian Lewis for the entire season. So we're excited about that. They'll go through the prehab, rehab, all those things, and be ready to play Saturday.
And still full belief in your football team, I'm sure.
Oh, I do. I mean, I want nothing more than the University of New Mexico to be a good football program. I mean, I dedicate my life and soul to it. The kids in that locker room, they're the ones that matter. They're the ones that believe in that. And so I got all the faith in the world in this football team.
Coach G, thanks so much as always. Best of luck against Hawai'i. Go get them.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Robert.
All right, for Frank Mercogliano, for Chase Christensen, head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzales, I'm Robert Portnoy. Homecoming coming up at University Stadium on Saturday, 4 p.m. Hawaii's coming to town. We want to see you out there. So long, everybody. Go Lobos.